and he re-grabbed the slide and he worked the slide 3 times. And of course, what happened is ammunition kept spilling out. Part of having your system of dealing with your gun and dealing with self-defense situations is to minimize thought. It's also to bring some discipline to what you do. That discipline of just doing it the way it should be done and following the rules frees your brain to do a lot of other things, but it also allows you to make good decisions when you're not in the mindset to make good decisions. You're tired, you're injured, you've lost blood. Who knows the reasons you're not making good decisions, but it could be something as simple as you're exhausted. So I'll give you an example. I had a friend, a special forces guy that worked in one of the SIFs. We're talking a guy that did helicopter assaults on moving trains in the mountains, that kind of level of experience, an extremely experienced guy. And we hadn't seen each other in a while. He was living on the other side of the country. He flew out to help me teach a course. He got in late on a Sunday night. We're going to teach early. We got to get up early on Monday morning. But of course, we haven't seen each other in a while. So immediately we go out and spend, close the bar at 2 a.m, then get up at like 5 a.m, then go teach a SWAT team for over 12 hours that day. And then we come home. So he's relatively exhausted. We get home. I fire up the stove. I'm going to cook us some dinner. And he's standing at my dining room table, and I see him start to take his gun off, right? And the first thing he did is he took a spare magazine out and sat it on the table. Then he pulled his pistol out, and I saw him reach up and grab the slide and rack the slide. And of course, a round came out. And then I saw him pause for a second, and he re-grabbed the slide, and he worked the slide 3 times. And of course, what happened is ammunition kept spilling out because he hadn't taken the magazine out of the gun. And in classic form, what everybody does when that happens is they immediately look like that, to see the magazines in the gun, and they're like, oh my God, and then they start over and do it right. Now, I wasn't going to let him have a negligent discharge, right? I saw what was going on. I saw that he didn't remove his magazine, but I was going to wait and let him solve the problem on his own as much as he could, right up until the last moment. Then I would have said something. But yeah, he pulled that spare mag out, and he was tired enough that when he looked and saw that mag that he just sat down, he thought to himself, that's the one I just took out of the gun. And he racked the slide, removing the round from the chamber, but of course, unbeknownst to him, putting another round in the chamber because he still had a magazine in his gun. And then he worked the slide as we teach. And more rounds came out, and that was his clue. That's why one of the reasons we do it is to have that redundancy, that discipline built into the system so we always do things correctly and we don't have catastrophic mistakes. So after it all went down, I asked him, hey man, what just happened? And he goes, well, I took that magazine out. I thought I'd take the magazine out of the gun. I racked the slide. And he goes, and then I thought to myself, that thing you taught this morning about working your slide 3 times, when you taught that, I thought to myself, that's a good idea. I'm going to start doing that. This was literally the first time he did it. And it possibly saved him having a negligent discharge. Because back in the day, a lot of people, of course, finish their unload procedure by doing what? Closing the slide and pressing the trigger, right? We do not teach that. We don't believe in it. People are still doing it, and they're still having negligent discharges because of it. But he probably would have finished his unload by doing that, by closing the slide and pressing the trigger. That probably would have been his next step. But he decided to work the slide first. After we work the slide, we lock the gun open and inspect the gun. We don't fire the gun to prove that it's unloaded, right? All that's actually going to do is prove someday that it is loaded, and you're going to have a round go off who knows what direction in your house, and there's just no reason for that.